Call of Duty Ghosts is an interesting black sheep of Activision's flagship series. As Infinity Ward's first step following the immense success of the Modern Warfare franchise back in the 360 and PS3 days, Ghosts brought Call of Duty into the next generation at the time. But the much-memed fish AI didn't do much to get fans excited, and its release ended up being used as the mile marker for the tail end of the golden age of the Call of Duty franchise. But why exactly didn't it get the sequel that was clearly planned at the time of release? Oh, and quick heads up, there's going to be spoilers for the game's story. With the single-player campaign, Infinity Ward definitely had their work cut out for them, tasked with creating a brand new universe, stories, and characters from scratch, without being able to rely on franchise staples like Captain Price. And unfortunately, they just didn't quite deliver.
But your father's not there anymore.
Dad, this whole time you were one of them. You're a ghost.
Try the ghost!
On top of some stiff voice acting and a pretty predictable story, to many players, the core of the game felt like a step back from the previous year's Black Ops 2. Which featured branching narrative paths, where your decisions and skill in-game would actually affect the story as it unfolded in front of you. By comparison, Ghost's story was on rails, and didn't have much of anything in terms of innovation. The decision to feature a group called the Ghosts, that had no relation to the Modern Warfare series Ghost Riley, was pretty odd too. And the decision to end on a bizarre cliffhanger where the unkillable villain Rourke comes back to kidnap the protagonist was even odder yet, and ultimately it all felt forced. And here we are over a decade later with still no closure on whatever they were trying to set up with the ending. Multiplayer was far from perfect too. Firstly, the maps were weak and far too large, which is a cardinal sin within the Call of Duty community, with a lot of them featuring an overly gray color palette, leading to the game feeling like it lacked character or personality. Beyond that, Ghosts tinkered with some small things that ended up having massive ripple effects to how you play the game. Like the decision to replace UAVs with SATCOMs, a weaker device that required more than one to be placed at any given time in order to be effective. These changes, coupled with a downright drab setting, at a time where games like GTA Online were just taking off, players just didn't stick around like they did in the past. For the third mode, they tried something bold, but unfortunately, it didn't quite pan out. Extinction was a 4-player co-op mode, where you had to fend off aliens known as cryptids. Each map played out like a linear mission, as opposed to round-based in classic Call of Duty Zombies, and this change of pace is likely the exact reason that it didn't catch on. With Zombies' popularity soaring in the title prior, fans of the franchise's co-op modes just weren't expecting something so different. And unfortunately, it's a similar story to multiplayer and the campaign. Players just felt it was a step backwards. Whether it be the poorly timed Extinction mode, the flawed multiplayer, or the by-the-books campaign, there are many issues with Call of Duty Ghosts' 3 modes, making for a game that only managed to be decent at best, at a time where every game was expected to be better than the last. And while some liked it and have become nostalgic for Ghosts over the years, it was far from the series' best. Although to be fair, with only majorly successful series like Modern Warfare and Black Ops actually getting sequels at all, it's no surprise that Call of Duty Ghosts would be among them as a one-and-done entry. And that's about it. Thank you so much for watching, and go to GameRant.com for more like this.